soul. At the count of 3, we're going to say hip hop. Here's the exercise. Count of 3, we're going to say hip hop to ourselves. Don't say it out loud. Say it only to yourself. At the count of 3, in yourself, we're going to say hip hop. Don't say it out loud, just say it to yourself. 1, 2, 3. The great master would then ask you your second question after that exercise. The question would be, who just spoke? That's right. Who just spoke? Who just spoke? Let's do it again. At the count of 3, don't speak out loud, speak within yourself. 1, 2, 3. What voice is that?
So.
This is, you just spoke and did not move your mouth.
That's the mind. Allah.
Take it in slow. This is 5,000-year-old techniques. When you walk into the ancient systems, Egyptian, Kushite, when you walk into the ancient Ethiopian systems, you did see know thyself on the wall before you walked into the shore. You saw know thyself, but that was for everybody else that didn't have knowledge. They would walk by the mystery and say, yo, they said know thyself. Wow. Nah, this is what you were supposed to do. It said, know thyself. The priest would say that without moving your mouth. And you would say, at the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And right when you said, know thyself to yourself, you found yourself. Because the self that spoke was not this.
The Most High.
This did not move. This voice did not speak, yet you spoke. Let's go further. You heard yourself speaking. How is that possible? How can you hear yourself speak and you didn't speak? Your mouth didn't say no word. You said, and you heard it. This mouth did not speak, and these ears did not hear you speak, yet you spoke, and you heard yourself speaking. If you close your eyes, you can see your future and your past. What is the vision that sees your past? He said imagination, which is, by the way, the Western term for soul. Image, your imagination. When you imagine, you are projecting yourself. Yeah, you call it imagination. Some say consciousness. Some say soul. Some say inner light, inner person. Yeah, that would be true. But let's get it straight. These two eyes do not see your past, yet you see your past. These two eyes do not see your future, yet you can see a future. You see it. Imagine this. You see your future. These eyes are not seeing that. You can speak without the mouth. You can hear without the ears. We're locating the soul now. We're locating the first you. The you that projects this you. This is not KRS-One. Leg, arm, head. This is not KRS-One. KRS-One is that voice inside. projection of KRS-One. KRS-One, though, is not a physical thing. It's an idea. Again, KRS-One is not the physical thing you're looking at. This is what I am projecting to you. This is what I want you to see of me. But the real me is that voice, is that sight, is that hearing that does not need the physical body to exist. The ancient priests would say, read that on the wall. Know thyself. Don't say it out loud, say it to yourself. You would go away baffled. Know thyself. Know thyself. Know thyself. Oh, that's what. Know thyself. Not know thy body. Know thyself. What is that self? Well, you exist without the body. You have ears, you have eyes, you have a voice that's vibrant. Without this mouth, these ears, without any of this. None of this is necessary for you to exist. The ancient priests would let you know right there is no death. Because if you can speak, see, and hear now without the body, when this body drops off, you're still speaking, hearing, and seeing.
That's right.
Wow, look at this. 94% of people believe company culture is important to an organization's success.
Sorry about that. Try to catch it before it switched over. But hey, peace. What's up? What's up? It is Sunday, March 16th. If you could see right here, this is my seminar coming up on March 29th and 30th in Columbia, Maryland. We'll be talking about trust, private express trust, and unincorporated church, private banking, debt elimination, credit repair, national status correction. But before I just wanted to touch on that. That was very powerful what KRS-One said, right? How you can hear, see, and even imagine, like see yourself in future events, see yourself in past events without even moving your lips or vibrating your vocal cords, without, you can close your eyes and you can see yourself doing something, or you can even see what you did in the past. You can replay things in your mind, right? I mean, I got my alcohol today. Depending on how strong it hit me, ooh, is how strong this message is going to be. That hit pretty strong. That's my Santa Ana. It's only one place that sells it, because a lot of these alcohol stores don't know what's good alcohol. So I have to actually drive all the way up to Fort Mill, South Carolina, and purchase this from one of my Latino brothers. He actually put me onto, I was looking for something. I told him I don't drink, but I just do it when I do my shows. It gives me, it brings down the ancestors, the downloads that I need. And he said, this is what you need. And he was right. That was so smooth going down, but yet strong. This is all that was left. Because I haven't, did anything on the show like that in a while, right? But sometimes I get moved to do it. Oh, excuse me. Give me a second. Let me close that out. But that's why I named the show. Shut up and listen. You know, some people might have like, what is he talking about? Shut up and listen to Akeem? No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about shut up and listen to yourself, your true self. Shut up and listen to what's speaking inside of you. Stop listening to what the outside world is bringing you. Even when you're talking, that's the outside world because you're projecting it out there and then you're hearing it with the physical ears. You see? Even if your ears stop working, you'll still be able to hear your true self. It's just that the physical world can't hear it, or you may be able to hear, not be able to hear it. Even if you couldn't speak, you'll still be able to speak within your true self. Too many times we allow outside influences to encourage us to move in ways that we shouldn't move. So that's why we have to, like that inscription says, know thyself. Because only there you will get the true answers within yourself. Y'all heard I speak from a place of personal experience. I believe that the ancestors, God, the mastermind of all things, gave me an experience. Many allowed me to have an experience long time ago that I appreciate right now. Remember, I told you the experience where things were not going so well for me at some point in my life. And I felt like I did everything from a religious perspective that I should have been doing where those things shouldn't have happened for me. That's how disillusioned I was. That's how disillusioned I was by the outside influences of this world that I really thought I had it all together. I had it so together that I came home from work one day and the house was empty. No wife, no children, gone. That's how disillusioned I thought I had it together. I go to work, I'm paying the bills, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a father. Thought I was doing what I was supposed to do as a husband. But come home, and everybody's gone. Because obviously something was wrong. I didn't do anything, something I didn't do. I didn't produce an environment to keep the family intact. So that denial, I went through a period of denial, like strong denial, like it's her fault. I'm still attached to outside thoughts because I'm taking what I was taught based on being a Christian and well, I did this, I did this. What's wrong? Why she can't see that? Right? That's the craziness I was going through. I was actually out of my damn mind. I really was. When I look back, like, all those years, this is many years ago. But when I look back on that, I was out of my mind. I was out of my true self. I was so caught up and created a persona based on religious standards and society standards that it was so far away from what the truth was that I was so disillusioned. I thought that was the truth. And I literally was in hell mentally. Literally. Like, family gone, what am I going to do? My whole identity was the family. Just living to survive and take care of the family. At that time, I didn't have a whole lot of money. I was, just trying to make it. I had so many false illusions about what wealth was, what my idea of making it was just mentally was just making it so I could just pay the bills. I just need to make this so I can pay whatever this mortgage is, whatever this light bill is, whatever the car notes was, make that. That was my whole identity. Now, okay, I still got to pay all these bills, and now the other half is not there, right? So that brought me mentally into a place of darkness. I couldn't see anything that was truthful. And to the point where I got so upset at the belief systems, at people. Like, I did all these things based on this, and then I went on a tirade. I told you guys this story goes. Some of you have heard this story. I went on this rant, a real harsh rant. And I started cursing out God. And I'm going to say the words. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to tell y'all exactly what I said. I said, I did everything I thought you wanted me to do, God. And the shit still didn't work. What the fuck is the truth? I want the fucking truth right here, now. Fuck all of what everybody else says and what they're saying. Somehow I made this connection that at the time I didn't really realize the impact for what I was actually saying. I was just on this rant, like, fuck that, fuck this shit. This is all bullshit. I shouldn't have to go through this. And I said, in that rant, I said this. I said this exact words. I've told y'all this story, but I took I bleeped it out, but I ain't bleeping shit out right now. Yeah, I'm a minister and I curse. So what? Y'all judge me, whatever. So what? And I said, I want the truth, and I want the fucking truth, and I want it from you. Now, here's the thing. As soon as I uttered those words, a voice went off, and it was my voice. Because this is how I know where God really is. My voice said, the outside me was talking to the true me, and it responded. It said, you don't know me because everything you know about me comes from somewhere else. That was the sentence that came back. It didn't cuss me back. Well, F you. You listen to them people. That's your problem. It didn't do that. It just said very quietly, calmly, and directly, and with authority, it said. That voice said, my true self said, y'all getting it? Where God really is, said, you don't know me because everything you know about me comes from somewhere else. And in the moment that sentence stopped, it was like in an instant, my whole life flashed before me. Like all the instances where I, had Bible studies and people would teach me about God was flashing in my mind. Like in an instant, like I got this instant download, not even a download, instant remembrance of what led me to the point that I was at that point. That's why I played the KRS-One thing. See, he was on point when he said the true you is yourself. Your true self will talk to you. You just have to shut up and listen. And it don't argue with you. It don't sit there and go back and forth with you. It just says it like it did me. It said, you don't know me because everything you know about me comes from somewhere else. So what it was telling me was your true identity, which you thought was your identity, was a false identity. And all you had to do was stop and shut up and listen to the true self, which is within me, and you will get the answers. Everyone is God. There is no one out there that is not God. If you come from God, you are God. You and God are one. This is what Christ was saying. Me and my Father is one. So if I'm one, that means there's no two. We are one. We are in accord. We are in sync. We work together. But he had to express it that way because from when you're looking at the physical body, that's another entity. If you want to use it in legal terms, you say that's the straw man. Your physical body is the straw man. It's the in legus, as you know, if you want to put it that way. This is why, remember that scripture I talked to you about, the spiritual man cannot be judged by anything, but the natural man can? It's speaking about the in legus versus the true self. And yes, the government exploited that and created a third entity, a legal entity, and had codified it and had you sign off on it and accept it so that you could be removed from who you really are. This body is nothing more than a biological spacesuit or a biological environmental suit. That's all it is. This suit, this body is only designed to live in this dimension, to fulfill a purpose while you're here. That's why it's temporary. You're not meant to be here forever in this existence. You got so much more work to do across the multiverse. This is just one place. It's just in here, the secret societies figured out how to trap you into believing that this is all there is. Trapped your mind into believing this is it. When the truth was right there in front of your face. How do you speak without speaking? And how do you hear without hearing? How do you see without seeing? How do you do that? See, they have to keep the distractions going. Let me take this next to last sip. So I have to tell you something. They have to keep the distractions going. They keep you from seeing who you truly are, who that is, who you are. Before I move forward, let me back up a little bit. So, like I said, I had saw everything just in an instant. Boom. I had this wow moment. Like it was like I was angry and resentful. And then when I got the truth, when my true self spoke to me, when the God in me spoke to me, it was like, oh. And I said this. Oh shit. I verbally said, I said, oh shit. That's the truth. That's what it is. That's the answer. The answer came like, yeah, this is why I'm having this problem. Because I took on this persona of so far from what reality, what truth is, that I was so entangled in it that I thought that was me. And that was the true me when it wasn't. So back to where going back forward. Once you come to these realizations of who you truly are, there's no going back. Some of you may not have that revelation. Only revelation you're getting is from my words. But my words is not enough. You have to connect to that. You have to have the experience in order to get true understanding of who you truly are. You got to. It's something I wanted to speak on, but I guess right now it ain't ready to come out. This word I want to birth, but it ain't ready to come out. And I went back, and then it's not ready. The truth is this: you have to be quiet. I know I put it in harsh terms. Shut up and listen. You have to be quiet, and you have to listen to your true self. The true self will never steer you wrong. It may look wrong while you're walking down the path. It only looks wrong to the physical you, the ego you. But as you keep walking down that path and the truth is being revealed more and more, you begin to see why you're on this path. Through all of the little processes, all the little difficulties you might run into, you'll see it. So, there's only one God. There's only one truth. And the only one God is you, the God within in you. Not the God within me, the speaker, it's the God within you. And my only job is to remind you of that. A lot of the stuff that you guys pay me to do, you could do it yourself. But what causes you to depend on me? And some of y'all might think, yo, are you shooting you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're not gonna, that's your money. No, I'm not. Because what is money? Some invention by man? My prosperity is not determined by the monetary system that man has created. My prosperity is determined by the God within me. So whatever medium of exchange that I'm going to use, it will be available to me. Okay? See, that's the problem why we have problems with money, because we believe that the money power is stronger than the God power. The God power is what created the money power. So go with your God power. The money that will show up as long as you show up and understand who your true self is. Too many times we allow the outside world to be too noisy, to give us what we accept as truth. And because we follow that path and not the true God within ourselves, we always go wrong. That's our major issue. Too many times wanting to please people. Like who gives a shit about what people think? Like really? What people think is not worth putting yourself in the prison of their thoughts. Whenever you allow yourself to be controlled by other people's thoughts and opinions, you have placed yourself in a psychological prison of their very words. And that's not where God resides. God resides in one place and one place only, within you. And when you take your consciousness, your free will of consciousness, and allow it to attach to false gods, because that's what that is. When you accept other people's BS, whatever it is, that's a false God. Because the only true God, there's only one true God, and it's on the individual level. That's within you. See, the theologians, the biblical scholars, the powers, whoever this is, the principalities, knew that they had to give you a God outside of you in order to control you. And then they sat there and defined the terms of what that God's will was. I'm about to order a couple of more Bibles. Add 2 more Bibles to my library, which is the 1775 Bible, which has the 13 months of the year, which starts in March. And I only say that to say this, that all of these Bibles, all these religious texts, man have controlled and manipulated them to benefit themselves for profit. Yes, they profited in monetary gain, but the biggest profit is the profit of having you adopt their idea of what God is. Because if they can get you to sign on to that contract, they got everything else. They got the money, they got your control, they got your compliance. See, you got here by one means and one means only, was to exhibit your God power. Not someone else's idea of what God is, your God power. And I understand that, this defies and denies and rejects all religious ideology, but I don't give a shit. Really, I don't. Because if you sit back and you look at your true self and you ask yourself this one question about all of the religions that you ever participated, what good has it been for you? What good has it done you? It just made you more confused than you was before. Oh, yeah, you got into it. It felt good. The singing and the clapping and the dancing and running around church that you see. It gave you a good feeling for Sunday, but when Monday came, you're back where you started from. And you wishing for Sunday to come back so that you can get that feeling back. But you can have that feeling all the time if you accept your true self as being the true messenger, the true voice of God. Because the true voice of God is creating all your reality, all of the things that you want and desire. All of the things, yeah, well, Akeem, I'm getting something bad right now. Yeah, because that's your desire right now. Because your desire is what you hold in your thoughts. That's the true desire. Now you might have well, I want this, but what are you holding on to? You will never get any further than the ideas of your mind. Yeah, I want to be a billionaire, but yet I do broke people things. I hang out with broke people. I talk to broke people. I participate in broke people activities. And a good example is that when I used to work at the World Trade Center, all of the guys with money would have what you call what do they call us when you buy tickets that you like it's a word, I can't even think of it. They buy tickets that, you're a regular customer and you buy the tickets for the games, box seats, whatever, season tickets, right? Do you know those wealthy guys they don't buy those tickets for themselves? They buy that to give it to clients. You know how many season tickets or box seats I got in New York from the brokers I was working? Hey, Akeem, you want to go to the game tonight? I got some tickets. You want them? And they would just give them to me. They weren't going to the game because they had more important shit to do, like make money. So they sent me, the broke guy, to go there and enjoy the game. Give me a feeling of feel good so that I can keep working with him. I'm not saying that was their intentions. They thought they were doing me a favor. Hey, Akeem, you want to go to see the game? Here's box seats. You're going to go into a special entrance. You're going to skip the line. I feel special. I got these tickets. My boss gave it to me. And what is he doing while I'm at the game? He's out there inventing and imagining and creating more money while I'm sitting there at the game, buying up what I need, the drinks or whatever, the food, spending my little bitty check compared to what he's making at a game. See, poverty mindsets do poverty things. We spend money we don't have. And when I say don't have, is we don't have the bankroll or the bank account that's looking, abundant. But I'm sitting here buying $10 hot dogs and $10 drinks. That's our problem. We're not tapping in. We're not tapping into our true God power. We tapping into the idea of what someone had told you was God power. And like I was saying about these Bibles, 1775 Bible has 13 months to the year. And the first year starts in March. That's why I if you guys got it, I sent out the invite for March 19th, 11 p.m. We're going to do the money ritual for the real new year. And we're going to bring some prosperity to ourselves. So look into the Telegram group. The link is in there. Let me double check. Let me double check and see if it's in there. Where is it? I can't find it. All right, there it is. All right, so yeah, it's right there. And then I have the whole ritual in there, the things you can do. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was asking for, like, I take and put in what I want to Chat GPT to tell me, this thing, and then it spit out this ritual, this extra stuff with the coin. If you want to do that, that's optional. But you know how I do it. It's parchment paper, pencil, the parchment paper to write on, and something to burn it with. And then we burn our intentions at midnight. So that's the 19th. I think that's Wednesday, right? Wednesday is, 19th, 11 p.m. we'll start. And we'll fellowship. We'll talk about things and expectations. Don't come on there talking about your problem. That ain't consultation time, whatever you want to call it. That is money time, prosperity time. We're not there talking about your problems. Remember, talking about issues make more issues. We're talking about good things. So back to what I was saying about the Bible. They have all of these Bibles and they take stuff out, they switch stuff up. Why? Because it's under man's control. This is why we're confused, because they confused. And they're on top of that, they're trying to confuse you. You don't think they're trying to confuse you on purpose? All of these major holidays that they celebrate is not based in any biblical facts. They're based in, other religions or other schools of thought, religious practices. They had nothing to do with Christianity for the most part. Easter eggs, and I think that's the next holiday coming up. Valentine's Day, Christmas, Halloween. That one right there confused me how any Christian would celebrate that one. And I'm not sitting here saying something is wrong with Halloween, because there's other cultures that celebrate that and it has a whole different meaning. It's basically holiday, not because some of you don't know, giving reverence to your ancestors. Then it has other meanings depends on the culture or the theology. That's where it comes from. That's it. Ooh, Ooh, that was stronger than the first. Mm. So when I talk about these Bibles, I want you to understand that every Bible got a copyright. And that means that it's being manipulated and controlled by a corporation, someone with an agenda. I'm not saying throw your Bibles away. They have useful information, especially for everyday life living. But I want you to depend on one thing that the Bible talks about. Put no other God before me. And who is this me? That's you, the God within you, the God within me. When you put outside voices, outside influences in front of the true God within you, you will always be led astray. You will always be led off by false prophets. You'll be always be prey for the wolves. This is how people get taken advantage of in religion all the time, because they put their trust in man. They wrote the truth in the Bible. Do not put your trust in earthly men. That is written in the Bible. It didn't say, do not put your trust in earthly man, but if he's a priest, you can. If he's a pastor, you can. If he's the president, you can. It said, do not put your trust in earthly. Plain and simple. Back to the beginning. If you can hear yourself speak without speaking, if you can see yourself without seeing, then who is that? When I can utter words without uttering words, when I can hear without actually hearing, when I can talk without actually talking, when I can see without actually seeing. I mean, I can see all of the things in front of me. I can see all the things that happen to me. Who is that? It's only one thing. That's you. That's the truth of you. That's knowing yourself. Like I told you, the voice that I heard it sounded just like me. Like it sounded like myself talking back to me, answering me. And that changed my life. I'm happy it happened to me. I'm like, wow. So it had to take me to get to this point of just totally disgusted with how I was living, what I was going through. For me to get to the point of cussing this and cussing that and all that. And all I was doing was cussing out myself. I said, God got a sense of humor. Because the minute when I started going within and asking, when I asked for the truth came like bam. It would like snapping my fingers, it came. And just when I heard it, I knew it was the truth. There wasn't any second guessing it. It wasn't, oh, is that right? What do you mean by that? There was none of that. It was an instant revelation, epiphany, and awareness that just, it was like this. I was sleeping with my eyes open. My eyes was wide shut. And when I heard that, I was like, oh. And I didn't, after that, there was no need to cuss. There was no need to be angry, because it was like, holy, that's it. That's the missing piece. It all came back to me. The responsibility fell on my shoulder because I chose to listen to all of that rhetoric. I chose to listen to the parents out of respect. Yes, sometimes your respect that you have for your parents and all of that can hinder you in your consciousness, in your walk with the truth, because they're working off false assumptions. And that's what they are, false assumptions. You can look at your peoples right now, 20, 30 years earlier, they're still living the same way they was 20 and 30 years ago. Still doing that, struggling, paycheck to paycheck, and coming to try to preach to you about the goodness of God. How good God is good all the time. But yet they coming to you to borrow money. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up. Your God's so good, he got you asking me for money? What kind of gods you got? And these are very ones that will preach to you about what the truth is. No, they're not preaching truth. They preaching an idea, a fictional idea of what the truth is. Because they're living in an imaginary, illusional world because they're living in a space of outside of what the truth is, outside of their true Godship, their true connection with God. And there they have placed all of their faith in a false God. It says, do not, God is a jealous God. Yes, the true God in you will not speak to you as long as you talking to and dealing with a false God. See, how I got spoken to was when I said I was rejecting that. I don't want to hear all of that stuff no more. Now I want the truth. Then the God within me awakened. It woke up and said, hey, I won't even, let me change that. It didn't wake up. It just decided to intervene. He ain't gonna sit here and talk. You gonna talk shit to me. I'm gonna tell you like it is. Your problem is you believe that nonsense and forgot to look for where the truth was, right there inside of you. Come on, bro. Don't play me like that. I've been here all along trying to wake your crazy self up. You ain't been paying attention. You're not listening. If you'd have just shut up and just started listening when that little voice came in and said no, when the little voice said yes, when the little voice said this is it, when the little voice said you are the true divinity of God, and you looked at it and said, what are you talking about? Ain't no divinity. I'm broke. I got all these problems, man. You start identifying with the problems that's outside of you instead of identifying with the truth that's inside of you. And that's when I say God got a sense of humor. The God went to me, laughed at me like, brother, you don't come here talking that trash to me. What's wrong with you? Because everything you talking about had nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with what you allowed yourself to believe. See, it all falls back on you. It all falls back on me. It doesn't fall back on the person you're in a relationship with that you're having problems with. It falls back on you and your idea and belief system that you thought you can transform this person into something they never wanted to be. You saw the problems in the beginning. They showed you who they really was, and you decided to walk into that shit anyway. Thinking, well, my positivity is going to help them raise. No. You have a hard enough time raising your own, keeping your own positivity intact. You ain't got the strength or the wherewithal to get somebody else's up like that. Not when you're weak. Your life vest ain't on. Now you trying to put someone else's life vest on? Oh, hell no. It ain't going to work. I'm sorry. It's not going to work like that. So any problem you find yourself with anybody, you have to still look at yourself and why did you participate and go through those hardships? Why did you allow yourself to get into it? Because you allowed your outside self to get entangled in it to that. Your true self just sat there and went for the ride. Said, yo, this knucklehead to get it. That's not really him. He's allowing or she's allowing to be remote controlled by outside influences. Wirelessly allowing yourself to be controlled by people's words, the societal trends. And then when you have problems, you want to go back and then God help me. Well, wait a minute. I tried to help you when I whispered to you quietly and said no. When I whispered quietly and said, that's not your soulmate. And you ignored it anyway because they look so good. Man, she got a fat booty. Oh, he looked good. He tall. He this. He got money. See, us guys, we're very simple. It ain't about the money with us with the girls. We looking at looks. 100%. We looking at how good she looked. And imagining ourselves having fun with her in, all those intimate ways. Don't want to be too graphic. That's how simple we are. But when on the women, that's a whole nother realm. They're looking at sustenance, covering, all kind of things going on. Us, very simple. We ain't hard to figure it out. But back to the title. Shut up and listen. Listen to the true God in you. Because that's where the truth is. There is no other place you're going to find it is with you, in you. Everything I've taught you guys when it comes to trust, although you might come across people's information that seems similar to what I'm teaching, right? And sometimes when it's similar to what I'm teaching, that's because they came and got the information from me a lot of times, right? Everything came from some divine inspiration. I woke up and I put it together. It didn't come from somebody else telling me because I have disconnected from allowing people to be the main influence on my thoughts. Now, when I hear somebody and it has a ring of truth with it and they guide and my true self guides me in a direction, I accept that. But there is nothing that's going to supersede, override, or be the main source of information but what the God in me is saying. That's it. You have to, and it's a work, it's a training. You're gonna have to train yourself to be confident to hear that quiet voice. The quiet voice don't yell at you. When that voice spoke back to me, it didn't yell. It was like, you don't know me. Very calm. And like matter of factly, like you don't know me because everything you know about me comes from somewhere else. It was very calm and matter of fact, like, bruh, wake up. Like a bing, wake up. This is it right here. And it was very simple. It wasn't a whole 300 pages of information that got me to that point. It was just that one sentence. And then I woke up and then I said, you know what? I have to. And then when I got it, then I got what you call, how would you put it? I got very like, oh, this is going to be a problem. Not for me, but for everybody I come in contact with, because not everybody had this experience. And when I start talking about what truth is, it's going to be rejected. And my family, they're staunch, into their religion beliefs. How are they going to take it? See, that's where that's the changes you're going to go through. It's going to feel good and then it's going to feel bitter because now you have a whole family, generations of a belief system. Now you're going against it. And that's where don't worry about what people think comes from, especially your family. And that's where the challenge, that's where a lot of people get roadblocks and they turn around and go back to the old self. They go back to that self that believes in everything outside of them, but the God inside them. And they know somewhere deep in them what the truth is, but they're so scared of displeasing and disappointing the family that they don't allow themselves to be free from the bondage of trying to please other people. Because that is a prison. That's a bondage. That's like handcuffs. Like, that's why, I curse on my show from time to time, and some people might not like it. I understand it. But I'm not speaking from a place of where I'm trying to please and tickle the ears of everybody. Because I understand that there is no pleasing anybody. If you understand anything about the Christ story, he healed people, and in the next minute, they said he was healing people in the name of Beelzebub. After you saw somebody with an affliction for all their life get healed, that's, oh, he's doing this in the name. He ain't doing it in the name of goodness or God or the greatness of God. He doing this in some evil way. So this is how crazy folks are. And this is why you can't be following them up. They will find any way to discredit any talent you got. He just healed somebody of a lifelong illness. And they feeling good. You see the joy on their face. Let me change something. He didn't heal anybody. They got healed by the faith that they had in his healing power. And they turned around and put negative, they talked about it in a negative way. Instead of being joyful that this person is free from their affliction, they more looking at the guy who was the helper, help this person as a problem. And why did they do that? Because they were jealous. They was haters. Y'all see them. Y'all got them on the job. Y'all got them. You know, people who in your family with your businesses, they see you doing something great for people. They try to hate on you. They'll say stuff like, "Oh, you know, especially in my line of work, you worried about the government getting you?" And here's the thing. Anything left in here? It's a sip. Even that little sip, that means I'm going in even further. Is you worried about the government getting you and, you know, for what you teach? You know what that says? See, when you have that wisdom, when you have that enlightenment, when you got that mindset, and I've never challenged my people this way, but I'm gonna tell you what it says when they say stuff like that. That the God that they believe in is not even the one that they really believe in. They believe in the God of this world, the governmental powers. Because when someone says that to you, you're not worried about what they're going to do to you. That means they had placed power in the government and they're the authority. They're the ones under control. And so they're going to allow them to stop them from speaking truth. Now, do you have to be covert? Yes. This is a spiritual war we going through. And I am a believing in covertness. And the main reason why I'm covert because it's not the government I'm really worried about, it's the people that come into my circle that I'm worried about. If you think about any revolutionist, anybody who made any changes, it wasn't the government that killed him, it was the people that came and befriended him that shot him and killed him. Martin Luther King was not killed by the government. It was orchestrated maybe by the government, but it was done with the plan of the people that was in his circle. And one of them was the very one who created the term African American. Y'all figure who that one is. Out. Okay? See, nobody can get to you unless the friends in your circle allow them to get to you. We have to see the enemy, the problems for where they are. The people that don't do you harm the most is the ones that are sitting right next to you, the ones laying next to you, calling your baby, I love you. Those are the ones that be on you. That's why you got to be careful who you connecting with. There's still a little bit left. And that's true. That means I got some more to say. Oh, wow. Life is good. Life is great. Life is even better when you're really speaking the truth. When you allow yourself to be free from what people think and what they're going to say about you, that's when you got freedom. There's nothing more beautiful than that type of freedom. So be yourself. and look to yourself, your true self, the real you, the God within you for all of your answers. I'm just a signpost. And that signpost is one big finger pointing right back to you. That's it. That's all these talks are about, pointing you back to who you really are. Because that's the mission. That's my mission. Everybody has a mission and a technique and a style of teaching. And you'll know that person's style and whether they're called to do what they're doing by the connection and the vibration of the message that's coming across. How does it make you feel? What does it brings out of you? Do you get revelation from those words that they're speaking? That's how you know that they're truly on their mission. That's how you know. A tree is judged by the fruit it bears. Lately, I have had to go back to old teachings because I got a whole new class of people coming into my life. Just fresh minds. So I have to go back to the beginning. I have to start, and it's good that I go back to the beginning because there's a lot of erroneous stuff that must be taught and corrected. And woe for the teachers and the ones that want to try to come up against me. I feel sorry for you because it ain't going to me that's going to give you problems. Listen, I'm just being told to give you a warning. I got ancestors, I got powers behind me that want me to get this out there. And if you get in the way of that, I feel sorry for you. So you better off just sitting back and enjoying the ride than trying to go up against it because it's not me. They're the ones that want this out there. I'm just following the call. That's it. I'm just going down the path they taking me because I know if I go down this path, I am well protected against this. Anything. So that's why when they talk about government, I'm like, okay. The protection is there. All right. And this is not exclusive to me. Anyone out there that got a message and you're feeling nervous or you're apprehensive about how it's going to be received. Let me tell you something. That message was delivered to you, and you better get it out there because that's why the story of Jonah is in the Bible. That's why it's there. They warn you. Listen, you got a calling, and if you don't get that calling, life ain't going to be very good until you get on your job, until you get into the vibration and the frequency of the path that placed you here. Better get to it. That's it. All right. With that being said, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. And it was all about the parables. It was all about the separation of, just in a general sense, the separation and weeding out the weeds from the good from the wheat. And a lot of times we feel like we could help people. And some people just not willing to be helped. And guess what? Some people is not of the same stock. They may look like you, walk like you, just have the similar appearances, but they're not of the same ancestral background. There is two distinct people on this planet. There's your people that are good, basically, and that's most people. There's people that's just straight up evil and don't care about doing anything good for anyone else but themselves and furthering their agenda. We have to come to that realization that that is the case and that you're not going to fix these people. But how do you know who these people are? Simple. By the fruit they bear. What are they bearing? What production? Like, there's people that will get out here and teach stuff to people and they've never had any experience. I was actually watching a video of a young lady in an interview and she was talking about she's going to teach people how to be millionaires. And she had just only made $70,000 that year. But she was starting up classes to teach people how to be millionaires. And she really, well, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Okay, that's good that you have that goal, but you can't teach anybody how to do something you haven't accomplished. I can only teach you as far as the level of money I've ever made, just quite a bit. But can I teach you how to make $1 billion, even multiple millions? Can I teach you how to do that? No, because I haven't gotten there yet. I'm getting there. I'm there. I gotta see myself there. But I ain't gonna sit here and tell you, hey, I'm gonna show you how to make all these millions, and I ain't did it. And this is what I'm talking about. There's people that are just interested in just making money off of whatever they can make money off, which is great. But what's not great is teaching. It's called I call it being a false prophet or false teacher. And it's a lot of that. And interesting enough, a lot of people like listening to people who teach from a place of theory and guesswork. They love it. And they get all the followers. That's what they're talking about, that road that's so wide. It's basically everybody finds that false road. A lot of people find that and they enjoy it.